But we'll kind of jump right into it. So as far as quality of life updates, Magic Eden, is supported by Citrus currently for the buy now, pay later loans, which we've termed kind of like mortgages. So you'll kind of see that back and forth. We're trying to go with just the buy now, pay later language, just so it's kind of consistent. It's kind of, I'll say, like familiar-ish in the space for what that loan type is. People refer to it as like ape now, pay later. But I think it kind of makes the most sense to me, and actually when I've talked to a few others, when they hear the term like mortgages, they assume that it's kind of amortized over like a schedule, and so that's not exactly how it works. Um, in theory, like a mortgage, you'd pay, a certain amount of interest and premium every week or something like that, right, until it's paid off. Versus this, where you have a certain period of time until the loan itself is like the full thing comes due, and you either pay it off or don't pay it off. So depending on what your style is for using it, that is an option. The other piece with Citrus 2 that we put in our quality of life updates is we added a collection filter and sorting to your active loans on Citrus. So this really was more so a feature for those that are like bulk borrowers, but it can be helpful really for anyone that uses the platform. You don't have to necessarily have like bulk loans in there, but anyone that wants to go ahead and be able to filter, which can be helpful. And the last thing for quality of life updates is the creators and collection verifications is now supported for PNFTs for Foxy Mint. So that's just a piece for PNFTs for Foxy Mint. We are still waiting for the print feature to be supported. Right now, that's not the case. I know that's been probably one of the more requested features that folks have asked for, as they want to kind of airdrop out PNFTs to folks, but you're not able to do so with editions or with printing editions quite yet. So just wanted to at least mention that. The biggest thing that we kicked off to starting into June is the citrus competition that we did, and we're running it for all of June, so all the volume is counted within June. What is also important that I don't know if we've explicitly highlighted, but the loan itself has to start in June. So it's not that it necessarily has to be completed, but it at least has to start in June. We're counting those volumes. So for anybody that was lending late May or have loans that are still kind of pending late May, that volume when it gets paid, it doesn't count. It's all about when you go and take the loan out. So worth mentioning for folks that are interested in getting involved. And it's been working out pretty good. But the general terms for it, we're planning on giving out two sets of prizes. One is for the borrowers, one for the lender, and we'll have three like tiers of prizes. So it'll be 6K to first place, 4K to second place, 2.5K to third place. um, and and the way that it works is like you earn points based off of the amount of SOL that's either borrowed or lent, and it's based off of the terms. So for shorter term loans, a 3-day, 5-day, you get 1 point per SOL borrowed or lent. For the medium term, 7 to 14, you get 2 points per SOL borrowed or lent. And then we, kind of beefed it up a bit for those that are taking out longer term loans, 21-day loans, to get 5 points per SOL that you borrow or loan. And it's more so just based off of, you know, I would say like volume and people going and doing these things. They have, different fees that are kind of associated with each. So we just want to make sure folks that are, you know, doing, I would kind of term it maybe like a little bit more risky loan types with the 21 day get compensated from a point standpoint. So that's really the reason that we decided to go for like a point scale. And at the end of it, we just basically add up all the points. Whoever has the most, second most, third most, are the winners for those categories. The last point here is important because I've had a lot of people DM me and have like fragmented conversations, so I think it's probably pretty good just in general to address it. Essentially, putting in here like that wash trading won't be tolerated, and we are planning on using Hello Moon to help us out like with this. It's more so the like gaming side of wash trading. Um, we know that people have built up relationships, and I actually think it's quite important within the space in general to have those sorts of relationships, especially from a trust standpoint, when anything comes to finances. And so we recognize, prior to launching this competition, there are people, bulk lenders and borrowers that have these relationships kind of already built out, and we don't want to change any of that or mess anything up there. So, at its absolute core, like the rules are essentially for folks that are trying to game the system. If you're doing 21-day loans and paying them off in a day, or something like that, like constantly back and forth, like the same person, you know, that's what we're really looking at as far as like wash trading goes. It's not for someone that takes a 21-day loan from somebody and pays it back in 21 days, and then takes another one out with them because that's like what their relationship is. So worth mentioning for folks, and honestly, if people have questions about it, more than happy to field them. But yeah, we're doing like a few different ways of criteria of figuring out like how are we determining if somebody is trying to game the system or not. And primarily it'll come down to at the end just taking the top 10, maybe more people if we go ahead and kind of like skim through those and determine what their activity level's been like, and then determining a winner from that. So it's a little bit complicated, but in general, I think it should work the best, for this level of a competition, and it's the first time that we're doing something like this. So we're also learning as we're going along. I think the biggest thing that I've heard back from people so far is that the prize pool should reach more people than just the top three. So I do hear that for sure, and I would say in the future, if we create more competitions like this, definitely adding in that kind of proponent or component to it, um, or even adding in like some level of randomization for like a portion of the prizes for everyone that participates, I think might not be a terrible idea either. That's the way we normally do a lot of things, but for this, we really wanted to focus on trying to give like reward people for like actual hardcore participation. So it's really why we've created this. And so far, I mean, you have gotten mixed feedback. For the most part, seems positive. I've definitely seen a bit of an impact so far on citrus, which is exciting. And I mean, that's really our goal, is to try and play around with things, figure out what works, what doesn't work, and move forward from there. As that's just part of the overall strategy, which is quite fun. So yeah, if you hadn't had a chance to check it out, if you're interested at all, even if you just want to get around and mess around with things, it could lead to more borrowers, more lenders. So, if you haven't jumped in there to kind of check rates out in a while, definitely do. And as always, if you have questions, feel free to hit me up, hit up Citrus Chat, if you're looking for something specific. By all means, there's a lot of really helpful people that are very active in Citrus, which is quite fun. All right. Next next up, was a little upset, actually, that we didn't, I would say, test yesterday, because I don't know exactly when the PNFT portion went through on DGen Fat Cats. We initially had set up four, well, yeah, technically it was four different ways, which we're still going to have four different ways to earn this Necro whitelist with DGen CoinFlip / DGen Fat Cats. It's been a pretty, decent mint hype around it, and honestly, like they've been around for quite some time, so it's pretty cool to link up in a bigger capacity from I don't know, like a commingle standpoint between communities. And so we were really excited to have a collab mission with them today. Since they had switched over to PNFTs, I believe over the last few days, um, we had to pivot. So we removed that as a collab mission. So anyone that had seen that pop up, I'll apologize. I know Dev wasn't that happy about it as well. But like I said, there'll still be the same amount of opportunities to get these whitelists. Right now, the only active one that we've put out there is a like a flip participation for it. We're gonna be doing a raffle based off of the folks that enter into it, and right now we have set 25 scrolls as the allocation for this raffle. That might go up because of the ability of us not being able to create the collab mission. I'm not 100% sure, but at an absolute minimum, 25 scrolls will be giving out through that competition or raffle, if you will. And the way that it works is we're giving out tickets based off of the amount of soul that's flipped. So 1 to 4 soul flipped is 1 ticket per soul. 5 to 8 is 2 tickets per soul, and 10 soul is 30 tickets essentially, or 3 tickets per soul. So we're just aggregating all that volume currently. We're going to be doing a drawing for that around the normal time that like missions would launch. So for me, it's noon EST or it's 4 p.m. UTC, however you want to look at it. But it's like for me the dead middle of the day, and I think there's like a decent amount of activity that goes on in general. So we'll run that drawing then. We'll also have another thing that comes up between now and then that will end at the same time, and then another one that that will just be like redemption based shortly thereafter. So if you guys are interested in it, really it's me just kind of giving a heads up that between now and Wednesday, keep an eye out. We'll have a few things pop up for it. Um, if you're interested at all in trying to get some of these necro scrolls. And uh, I I was like a little bit upset that we didn't have the collab mission because and I know Nial's in here, but I wanted to also include in our voice chat slides the comic that she had created. So it's been in the works for a little while. Trying to figure out the exact timings of things was a little bit complicated, but had thrown the suggestion to Niao for creating a comic around this collab mission. That was going to be pretty fun. We went back. I think she sent me like a bit of a script. I added a little bit to it, and then I think it was like the next day or day after where she DM'd me back and she's like, "Oh, I was having a lot of fun drafting this up. I made a 12-page comic." Like 12 pages is crazy. It was really, really, really good, but we had to parse it down some. So this is the final draft that was created. I don't know exactly how many panels it is. I didn't count it out beforehand, but it's pretty fun. It just kind of goes through this whole jungle-like mysterious theme of a fox with two different degen fat cats, and essentially they're flipping for some kind of treasure that they don't know about. And the first one loses, gets trapped. The second one wins, and it actually releases the first degen fat cat. And then they notice the necro scrolls that are behind this cage that they have to flip for. So kind of was like a tie-in between, the flip raffle that we have set up, and then also having a collaborative mission with Degen Fat Cats. So it's super, super fun. We'll post the original for this somewhere as we do the event, but I wanted to at least throw it out there for you guys as a little bit of alpha. Um, Appreciating you guys jumping into VC, but then also to kind of give a little extra kudos to Niao for putting this together. Is I love it. I think it's great, and I'm looking forward to a lot more of these for our upcoming in the distant future, in the not so early future, for our more entertainment / IP focused website that we're gonna get made. So. Just wanted to give a shout out to Nia for this. And with the disappointment of not being able to do the collab mission, just launches to our last page I put together for missions. So missions are live if you hadn't had a chance to run Foxes through it. Just to run through the list, we've got a solo Thug Life Glasses, level 44 plus, a solo Armor, level 48 plus. For the duos, we've got the duo Nunhead, level 46. We've got an Astro and Faceden, Astro level 48 plus. And then for the trios, it's two Safari, level 44 plus, and Safari Den, and then two Pirates, level 46 plus, and the Pirate Den. So if you haven't had a chance yet to launch your missions, make sure you jump in there and send your foxes out as soon as you can. And I had to give, again, kudos to Niao for one of our first few, if I'm not mistaken, banners that we had created for Thug Life's way back. So I wanted to add that in too. I like to kind of throw in whatever's thematically appropriate from a an art banner standpoint for our VC. But yeah, hopefully you guys like that. It was the second banner? Yeah, I wasn't 100% sure. The first one was the mutated eyes, if I'm not mistaken, right? The in the forest. Yep. Okay. And this was the second. Okay, cool. Yeah, I knew it was one of the first few, but yeah, that's awesome. When I got here, there was no comic. Here, I'll flip back to it for you, Gwei. There you go. Cool, cool. Um, what else? What else is alpha? Alpha that I didn't throw in here that's worth mentioning. Um, is I think I just have to do like one quick final pass on tier 2 TFFs and that should be good to go. So expect that soon, really soon. Um, and then yeah, I think once that's good to go, I think it's then tier 3 FFFs have to do a little bit of work for that to finalize that. And then tier 3 TFFs, and then figuring out what the game plan is for leveling up boxes after and what you guys will get. Um, so yeah, I just wanted to give some low-key alpha that tier 2 TFFs are very close. So definitely expect them before the end of the month is what I would say. Yeah, you're welcome. And I should mention this too, Quay, because I know you're looking at it on here, but the comic that Niall sent it's all one like top to bottom page. I tried to make it as big as I could in Photoshop and no, this is a PowerPoint. Um, but I'll post the original as the top to bottom, so you guys will get that. But I'll probably throw that out probably tomorrow in the events notification section.
Do you want to kind of talk about the 25,000 USDC worth of prizes for Citrus and why we're doing that?
Yeah, of course. So, I mean, at its absolute core, it really is to, I'll say, make a little bit of noise and capture some attention from the space. Um, it's a way to, I'll say, like, get a different level of people engaged. I don't think there are very many other NFT projects that run like sizable competitions for anything, really. I think I mean, I would say like the largest one that I know of that I'm familiar with was with DGods at MTNYC, where they had like sponsors that helped them put together like a 100K prize pool. But I really didn't hear much after they kind of like released that for whatever their like treasure hunt was or whatever it was, scavenger hunt or scavenger hunt. But yeah, at its core, I mean, it really is to capture attention. It's to get Hopefully, some more people interested in citrus and checking it out and trying it out. Um, going with the USDC option for it is really just to kind of, again, I think just capture a different level of attention when you say it comes out to be what, like 1200 Sol, something like that. I mean, 1200 Sol compared to 25 grand, it's like just a different, it just hits different in my opinion. Um, and so
Gi-
far, we've been getting good feedback with it.
Given that the sorry, the gods are no longer on Solana, this is like the largest giveaway, wouldn't you say, on the Solana chain?
From an NFT project, yeah, yeah, I would say, and maybe I just haven't heard of any that are bigger around it. From other projects. I know people. I mean, we do our monthly raffles and things like that, all the time. But I think this is like a different way of engaging from an actual tool standpoint versus like the collective, if you will. Um, so yeah, trying to definitely drive some more buzz with it, for sure. And I do see a question from Try39. When Juice redeem? That's also going to be soon. I have to double check with Dev to figure out the exact date he wants to go live with that. What I will say is last I looked, the it still had Foxy on it, and we have to remove that. So yeah, so that should be going live sometime soon. Yeah, Foxy's still listed on there. So yeah, let me get an exact date and maybe we'll put an announcement out on Wednesday that updates folks on when Juice Redemption will be live. Dev is selling me is selling you juice.